now we'll hear from the folks from La Romana. So if you all come up here, you're all going to have to stand up here. And I don't know who's first. But just remember, I have a hook if I need it. You can use that mic if you want, and then you can pass it back and forth. Or you can come up here.
Testing. All right. Well, good morning. It does. It does. I want to just start off by saying that we had a great trip, and I want to thank each and every one of you up front here for helping us to get to La Romana, and that was done through prayers. It was done through providing funds. It was done through providing items to take with us. There was a lot of support that got us there. So I just want to start with that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's two that aren't with us today, Miranda's son, Ryan, and also Elsie, Lydia's daughter. We missed them here this morning, but understand they had to be at other places. But I'll just start out as we talk about the mission, and the picture that is up here is the hospital is in the distance towards the right, towards the palm trees. The photos taken from where we stay at the compound, about just under 2 miles away. And so they're fairly close. The compound is very close to the ocean, and this is in La Romana, Dominican Republic. There were folks from 5 different states with us this year, and Kansas, right here. We also had Colorado, and we had Iowa, Maine, Massachusetts. So everyone, kind of a melting pot, getting together to work here in La Romana. And Georgia, that's right. We had one from Georgia. So as the work week started out, as I think about what Russ was talking about and going down and seeing a trash dump, we took everyone here, got to go to the very top of the hospital, and if you look not far from the hospital, there's a trash dump, and that's what this hospital, where this hospital once stood, there was a trash dump, and I can only imagine looking at that dump and saying, we're going to build a 5-story hospital here, and to have the faith for Pastor John Luke, who had this vision, and convincing others to build this 5-story hospital in the middle of a trash dump. I can only imagine as I look out towards that, and here it is, fully operational. So from the construction team standpoint, which I spent most of the time on the construction team, as one of the things that we did was we had to go around each of the doors in the second floor, which is where the doctor's offices are, and change the knobs to levers. And in doing so, we struggled to get open doors, to get doors that we could work on, because this hospital was fully operational. And it was a great problem to have, to see this hospital completely full of people. And some of the doors we had to do during lunchtime because we just couldn't get to them. So that's a very positive thing, a healthy hospital that's underway, and it was very good. So some of the other items that we worked on from a construction standpoint was we did do some chipping of concrete, some changing, like any hospital here. We're changing things, and the hospitals here change things, right, to make them better and change to new technologies. But painted, we chipped, we worked on doors, we put magnetic door openers into some of the hospitals for security, and it was just a great week. And I'm going to pass this on because we have a lot of people here, but I just want to thank everyone again for your support.
You can sit down on the stool.
This was my first trip. And I said to Ernie, what do I say today? And he said, just speak from my heart. And I cry all the time, so just live with it. I've been supporting my husband and my family for 30 years, and I've never been able to go. And we read that song this morning about, here I am, Lord, let me go. And he said, no, Carla, you can't go. And I think it's been very hard for me to not be able to go when your heart really wants to. And so for me, this was 30 years of answered prayer. It was finally my turn. And then I said, so you've said yes, now what do I do? Because I don't chip concrete with a, jackhammer, and I'm not an electrician, and I'm not a plumber, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor. What do I do? I have nothing to give. And he said, yep, you do. And so I just threw it out there for the team, and I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm going. It's my time. And it was amazing because there was something for me to do, and that was Piperazine. And I had the best job of all of them. And I came away saying, I had the best job. It was the best week ever. I got to see over 300 children. I got to pass them their Piperazine, which is a deworming medicine. We got to see them smile. We got to pass out little gifts. And I got to play with kids every day in the 90-degree heat. And it was absolutely wonderful. There were teenagers there hanging out, watching us. There were little ones. We got to hold babies and children. We got to comfort mamas when their babies were crying. And it was just joy, just pure joy for me. The hardest thing for me was the trash. So I had some buddies in my Piperazine, Barbara and another lady, Linda, and we had an interpreter with us, Widgie, and we had to stand in the trash to play with the kids. And I had to learn the first day that was socially acceptable to stand and play in the trash. All the kids did it, and I was not to pick it up. It was the hardest thing for me ever. I'm standing on bottles and trash and bones and all this stuff, and we had to play and catch balls and sing songs in the trash. But I did it because that's what we had to do. Anyway, I just want to say that I learned to say, Jesus te ama, Jesus loves you. And I'm very blessed to have gone this year.
We are thrilled to come back and go. That was one of my, conditions when we left. We get to still come back and go on the mission trip. And so we fly into Portland and hang out with Ernie and Carla for a day before and a day after. And I have a suite at their house. And, and yeah, I really do. Oh, so I have a suite at their house, and we just come in a day before and a day after, and we get to hang out, and I would do it over and over again. I'm a nurse, so I still play on the medical team. I was such a thrill to have Carla with us on the medical team for the first time. One of the things that she didn't tell you, we give awards at the end of the week on Friday evening after dinner. We have a Gumby award, and you remember, right? Gumby and Pokey, the little green thing, the little green flexible thing. Well, there's a medical Gumby that's dressed in a lab coat and a stethoscope, and there's a construction Gumby that's just plain Gumby. Poor Gumby. And Carla won the medical Gumby because she was all over. So I one a couple of years ago, so now we both have a matching medical Gumby. But it was great. We saw the effect that I hate to bring up politics, but we saw the effect of people not having the correct documentation. In years, this was my 8th year to go, and typically in the bateys and the barrios, we see when I first started, we see between 700 and 800 patients in the week. And we just barely hit the 500 mark. We hit 506 this year. There were some barrios where we typically knock out 125, 150 people. On Friday, we only saw, 68 in that barrio. And they were hiding. We couldn't. 3 years ago when Miranda was with us, she put up paper all over. She had sidewalk chalk. It was just a big carnival atmosphere. We're across the street from a bodega, and it was just a grand whole celebration. People streaming in and out all day. When we went last year and again this year, they wouldn't allow us to do that. The doors were closed. They brought them in through a back alley, 10 at a time. There was no, we had to move the bus. There is no indication that there was a group of people gathered to receive care. We saw that even in some of the bateys, although they're a little bit farther removed. Just the reluctance to get care. Because we're connected to the hospital, we often have a pipeline to refer people, because people, much like here, right? You go to the doctor and the doctor says, well, you need to see a specialist. You need to go here. You need surgery. You need this. You need lab. You need this. And we have that connection through the Good Samaritan Hospital. We saw probably half a dozen or more people that couldn't go get that next level of care they needed because they don't have the correct documentation and they couldn't get anywhere near the hospital. So we see that same effect. But we continue to learn and kind of refine what we're doing medically for the folks. And we have access. If you have a headache, you either reach in your purse for Motrin or you go to Walgreens or Walmart or wherever to get it. They don't have that ability. So to leave them with great little bags of, Motrin and Tylenol and vitamins and Tums, and, they all have a poor appetite. They all are dehydrated. They don't drink well. And think about all the effects of all of those. So lots of education, lots of hugs. We work with a great team that interprets for us, and they don't bat an eye at what we ask. They don't bat an eye at what we do, and they just are right in there pitching with us. And it's great to go. And I did see some people. I have worked with one of the nurses for several years doing this, and we said, we saw that person last year. And sometimes they say, hey, we saw her last year, so can we see her? And that's kind of neat to have that kind of relationship with these folks that may not get that anywhere else. Thanks for letting us come hang out.
All right. I promise I'll be short. So I too feel fortunate to be able to go, and you know what? You can too. As Carlos said, there's lots that you can do. My first year was actually 20 years ago in 2006. So I think back about the physical changes that I've witnessed. And another person talked about it because I've been on and off. I've had only 3-year breaks when I went to Afghanistan. But other than that, I haven't really had more than a year break. So I've been able to see steady progress on the hospital. A trip down memory lane in 2006, the roof was on the second floor. The second floor was not even finished. Now it's fully functioning doctor's office with, on Monday was a holiday, so there weren't people there. But the rest of the week, that place was crammed with people for appointments, people bringing their babies for vaccinations, and that's a wonderful outreach there. So there's change, but there's still the same poverty there. It's a little more hidden, a little more glossy on the outside, but it's still there on the inside. So that's our call, is to make sure that not only do we make sure that happens there, but here as well.
It was a blessing to go to the Dominican trip this year. This was my second time. The first time was in 2011. Sorry, can you hear me now? Sorry. It was a blessing to go to the Dominican. This was my second trip. The first time was in 2011 with my husband, Ron. It was hard because he didn't go there this year, but it was still a blessing. It was a blessing to meet others at the airport the first time, to see their enthusiasm, to go on this trip and to serve God. It was a blessing to share the dormitory with other women that came to serve. We had cold showers. Sometimes we had extremely hot showers. We never knew what we were going to have. We were blessed by the devotions and the beautiful music to start our day. On Sunday, we went to church and we were able to see a beautiful baptism of a baby. It was a little bit longer than from our standards here. We also, when we first walked in, we saw all different Sunday school classes going on in the same room. It was just so neat to watch them listening to their Sunday school teacher and just paying attention. So it was a very blessing. The blessing was going to beach on a Sunday. It was so crowded, and we also saw some people lift a car to move so that the bus could get by, which was an experience. I think Ernie got that on video, right? Yeah, he did. I was on the construction team in 2011, and this year I was on the medical team with Carla and another woman named Linda, and we also had a beautiful interpreter named Ouija, who just touched our hearts the whole week. She was a blessing to all of us. I mean, she helped us with the Spanish. When some of the kids would come up to us and would start talking in Spanish, we would say, Ouija, what are they saying? Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. So we were blessed. We were also blessed by the hard work of the construction team. I did not miss painting this year like I did in 2011. I think Lydia, Miranda, and Jim, under the direction of Ernie, painted this year. We were blessed by the starting our adventure at the Pates or the Barrios, and we even got to go to the Banana Ranch one day. We were blessed to give out pepper seed each day. The pips, yeah, we were the pips. The locations were not always ideal to set up our stations. The bathroom on the first day was very challenging, but it was an improvement over the sugar canes in the past. We were blessed to be greeted by children each day, full of their smiles and love, despite their poverty. It was a blessing to see the joy on their face when they received a simple pencil. Some even tried to come twice to get a second pencil, but luckily the interpreter was very good about knowing who came before, which was great. And the parents knew the importance of the medication, and the medication was taken. It was a blessing to watch the medical team each and every day. Deb and Elsie worked very hard, and sometimes in not great conditions. It was hot and it was sweaty. And they came together to care for these beautiful people from the Dominican. It was a blessing to watch the crowd control each day with the kids. Miranda, Ryan, Jim, and Ernie volunteered for crowd control. One day, Carla, when Ernie came that day, Carla was able to play a lot with the kids that day because they were because the crowd control was right next to our station. So there was so much laughter. We also had a woman named Michelle, who was a teacher, that just knew how to draw the kids to her, which was a blessing. And it was also a blessing to have Ryan, which was the only teenager on the group. He would just often visit our station when he came with the medical team, and he also knew how to laugh, and he also cared for those children in our group. There are many blessings to share on this trip. One of my favorite memories was on Friday. I started taking pictures with my digital camera, and there was a little girl in a purple dress. She was just so cute, and she kept posing for me and then wanted to look at her picture. And this year we took a lot of pictures with our phones, and that didn't happen. But for some reason, she was attracted to the digital camera. There are so many blessings of the week, meeting with people, sharing stories of old and new volunteers from this trip. My greatest blessing for this week was working with the children. It is sad and a blessing to say goodbye to our adventure, but I know that God will continue to bless all of us on our journey. My prayer is that God's love showed through all of us who went on this adventure this week. We are certainly blessed and touched by the Dominican people. It is a trip which will touch your heart and soul forever. God bless you, and in Spanish, Dios te bendiga.
I have to add one thing to Barbara's talk here. And we had probably 45 to 50 bags of medicine, construction supplies, and toys. We'd bring down toys to play with the kids. And when we get down, we have to go through immigration and then customs in the Dominican Republic. Thank God she brought Barbie dolls with her. And all of our bags had to go through an x-ray process, and then they started taking our bags and putting them onto another area where they started to search them. And one of the first bags that they opened was Barbara's bag with Barbie dolls at the end of the bag. And the woman took it out, she looked at it, and she went like this. I looked at Barbara, and Barbara gave me the nod, and we gave her that Barbie doll. And then the woman said, and we gave her 2 Barbie dolls. From there, everything was released, and we went freely out the door. So thank you for bringing those Barbie dolls.
So next year we want donations of Barbie dolls. This trip has been very important in this church. I believe we've been supporting it for 30 years now. 97. Anyways, I just want to thank you all. I mean, we have been doing this a very long time. We're the largest group that goes every year. So that speaks a lot about our church and that commitment. My mom, who had been a member of this church since she was 4 years old, this project has always been important to her. When she passed away, it's been 5 years almost now. It was my calling to not necessarily financially support it as much as she had, but to go as much as possible. Last year I wasn't able to go, but the 2 years previously I had been able to go. And this year, I don't know, I just had this bug in my heart, and I'm like, Ryan needs to go, who's my 13-year-old son. Now, I mean, it was just in there. It wouldn't let go of me. It started, I don't know, in June or July. And I'm like, he's not old enough to go. They have this rule. You have to be 15 to go, but it would not let go of me. So I went. We have this Dominican meeting, informational meeting. And I'm like, I looked at our church members and I just looked at them like, I just have this thing. It's not letting go. Can Ryan go this year? He's 13. He's going to be 14 in April. I didn't beg, plead, or anything. I just let it out there for them. All of these people have known Ryan his entire life from church. And they, I barely got it out of my mouth. And they're like, yes, he's ready. Yeah, that's a great idea. He was the only teenager on the trip, and it was a blessing. For me as a mom, watching everyone on our team with him, but also watching the other teams with him and him with them, and then him on the construction team working right alongside everybody. And then in the bateys or the barrios, loading, unloading. I mean, every day we're loading bags. I have tons of pictures of it. It's a lot of work. This is not for the faint of heart. Eating strange food. I was like, I wonder how that's going to go. And he was super psyched for Thursday night. Thursday night is American night, I would say. It's pizza night. So we go to this little restaurant that offers us, 25 different types of pizza. He was psyched. Cheese pizza. So anyways, I feel entirely blessed. I mean, here we are supposed to be giving of ourselves to go out there and help the world and everything. But I came back way more full. I feel like I got more than what they got from us going. I just was like, it was amazing. So thank you again, church. I'm a single mom. So me and Ryan going, it worked. Somehow you don't know how it's going to happen. I was like, I don't know financially. I don't know if the team is going to allow him to come. But we just went on a blessing and a prayer, and we were there, and we got to do that. So I also wanted to let you all know that there's a book out there about the tragic journey of the sugarcane cutters. And if you want to learn more about what is going on with all of this, there's a book that you can get right on Amazon, and you can read about that, learn more. I encourage you all, if you are able, even though you're not a construction person or a medical person, there's a place for you. You'll come back like I am. You'll come back more full. It's just that, just being there, this situation, standing on trash, giving out medicine that stinks. Those poor kids, I felt bad. They'd be coming out just with their tongue like, this is horrible stuff. But then we would be playing baseball, kicking the soccer ball, drawing pictures. I don't know much Spanish, but we're like communicating through pictures. They're whispering things in my ear, and I'm like, oh, we're whispering? Okay. I whisper things in their ear. We don't know what each other are saying, but we're having fun and laughing about it. So anyways, thank you again, church. Please continue this work. Please keep it in your heart. Keep thinking about it. But again, like we said, it's here too. When we give of ourselves, we get more full from this. Okay, whether it's in Laramana or if it's here, right here. We're experiencing a lot of that fear that these people were experiencing in Laramana, like scared to get medicine, scared to go out to the grocery store here to get food. We have similar things going on there, but we're all human beings, right? So let's take care of each other. Thank you again very much, very much. I feel very blessed. Thank you for sending me and believing in me and Ryan, this team. Thank you for letting him go and supporting me in that.
Dearly beloved, we have gathered here in the face. Oh, wait. This is something different. Sorry. Oh. One of the things that I get so impressed with going for several years is the progression that has happened. I happened to help out with the construction part. And as the years have gone by, and the progression of the building of the hospital and what's been going on there, and the humbleness that comes from the fact of knowing that even in the little things that I have done has helped this hospital with their mission of reaching out to people that are in need of help. With that, if I hadn't been there, who knows? Somebody else may have done it, but it may have been slow. Anyway, I do have that part. And as we look at the picture of the hospital there behind us, 5 stories, and the construction part has changed over the years. For the first few years that I was there, we were mixing concrete and making pillars and posts and stuff for the next floor to go up. Well, they're as high as they can go now. And so the construction this year was a lot of maintenance things, changing out, as Ernie said, changing out doorknobs from the grab on and turn type to the lever type, because they need those lever types. And so that part of the construction has kind of changed. And as we look at that, we say, oh my, what a pretty building. It's almost done. In the office of the manager of the construction, he has a picture hanging on the wall. And it is the vision for this facility. After the hospital is completed, the hospital also has purchased land right next to it. And as soon as the hospital is done, the vision continues, because they are looking forward to building a educational wing to the hospital. And there they will teach nurses, they will teach doctors, they will have evangelists training there to go out into the countryside of the Dominican Republic. The vision isn't stopping with just the hospital and the medical care. The vision includes spiritual care for the people of the Dominican Republic also. The hospital isn't going to be the end. It's just the start, and it's going to take all and everyone to make it happen. Please keep them in your prayers and keep looking ahead for everything.